In this video, I'm going to show you how to get onto MyLabsPlus, the program that you use to do all of your assignments this semester in math online, Math 070, Math 060, whatever class you're in. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to go up to your, I've already gone there, but you're going to go up to the top, click in www.edgecomb.mylabsplus.com, and it's going to bring you to the MyLabsPlus homepage. Your username is always going to be your first initial, your last name, and your 4-digit birthday. If it's 8, then it's going to be 08. If it's the 4th of, then it's going to be 04. And your password is going to be your 7-digit student ID number. And then you're going to click Sign In. It should show up either your Math 070, MAT 070 OL1, or MAT 070 OL2, or whatever class you're taking. You're going to click on that. It's going to bring you to the MyLabsPlus homepage. Along the top, you've got these tabs. We're not going to really use these. We're going to use these ones along the side. You've got chapters 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, appendices, resources. This is all from your textbook. We've also got the announcements. And those are any announcements that we'll have. And you click on the announcements button and see any announcements that I've put up there. You've also got the calendar, homework, quizzes, your grade book. The study plan we won't really use. Multimedia library will use that. So the next thing you're going to do is you're going to click on homework. Click on do homework assigned by your instructor. It's going to open up in a new window. Let's make that window large. And now we've got your privacy policy agreement and all that. You're going to read through each of those and click I accept. And then you're going to enter your access code or buy it now. If you're repeating the course, please make sure you get a hold of me. I have an access course for repeaters. After you have all of the access code in, you're going to click the next button. You could have either used the access code or purchased it with a Visa card. It'll bring you to this page. You can see some of the information here, and then you're going to click return to course. You'll come here to the homework because we clicked on the homework button. The next thing we want to do is we want to show all of the assignments for the whole semester. Click on the show all button, and then in the center you'll see a view all 70 on one page, so that you're not starting at chapter 2, you're starting at the very beginning. It seems like there's 70 assignments, there's really only 63. What I've added to the assignments are these pre-tests. If you take a look here, chapter 1 pre-test is 50 questions. If you score 80% of it, you can go up right on to chapter 2, and you won't have to do the chapter 1 assignments. These flags here mean that you have a prerequisite. You must score at least a 77 on the 1.1 homework before starting the 1.2 homework. When you get to a quiz, you must also score a 77 on the homework previous to that in order to take the quiz. The quizzes, if you take a look at the prerequisites for homework 1.5, you have to score a 70 on a quiz before you can take the next homework assignment and move on. All of these have due dates. If you see the due dates are on the left-hand side, so you must work on these and get the grades up before you can go on to the next assignment. The chapter tests, you have to get a 70 on the quiz before you can take the chapter test, and then you can just start the next chapter, or you can take a pre-test to try to test out of that chapter. We'll be doing chapters 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, skipping chapter 6. We're going to go on to chapter 7 and 8. And then there's a chapter 8 test and a final exam. If you take a look over here on the right-hand side, we've got the number of attempts. For the pre-test, there's only one attempt. For the first 2 quizzes, the quizzes in chapter 1, you get 3 attempts. Each chapter test only has 1 attempt. The quizzes in chapter 2, you have 3 attempts. And then the chapter tests are only 1 attempt. Thereon, the quizzes only have 2 attempts. And I'll be changing that infinity to a 1. The pretest should just have 1 attempt. So all tests have 1 attempt, quizzes have 2 attempts, or in the first 2 chapters, 3 attempts. So if we take a look at chapter 1.1 homework, you click on a homework assignment. It'll bring you to the questions for the homework. You click on a question, and you'll see here for each question, some are multiple choice like these. Many of you may enter the answer. Over here on the right hand side, they have the help me solve this. View an example. They show you the textbook. Some have videos, and ask my instructor will automatically send an email to me. So you'll just enter your question, and when I get it, it'll have your name here, the section, and the question, so I'll know exactly what question it was from, and you'll just send it to me. On the help me solve this, I actually help you solve it step by step. View an example just shows you an example, and then you can also print these. So if we take a look at some of these questions, let's take a look at one that is not multiple choice. And here, you would have to add these two fractions together. If you're not sure how to do it, you can help me solve this. And so it's going to describe to you how to do it and give you the steps. What's the absolute value of negative 3/5, and that would be 3/5. You do 3\5 and press your enter button. It's going to tell you that you did okay, and then it's going to move on. What is the absolute value of 3/11? And the reason why they're asking you this is because they are negative and positives. When you're adding negatives and positives, you have to take the sign of the greater absolute value. Least common denominator for 5 and 11 is 55. And it's going to tell you to build the fractions. So you multiplied 5 times 11, so 3 times 11 is 33. You multiplied 11 times 5, so 3 times 5 is 15. You're going to check your answers. You did great. And so you go through that until you found the final answer, which of the fractions is larger, choose the correct answer below, and so on. You could also just view an example. It will change your question after you've worked on it. View an example will be a different example. It'll show you how to do it step by step. You're going to build your fractions, decide whether you're adding or subtracting because the signs are different, which one's larger, so on and so forth. And then you enter your answer. If you put the answer in incorrectly, let's just pick something. It's going to say nope, find the common denominator, find the difference between the larger absolute value and the smaller one. It's going to help you throughout the steps. So let's say we put the incorrect answer in, and I got it wrong again. I know these answers are incorrect. I'm putting them in. It's going to tell you the correct answer if you do it 3 times in a row incorrectly. And then what will happen is a similar exercise button will show up at the bottom. You need to click that to try it again. You should be able to get 100 on every homework assignment. So a 77 is not asking much to get on the homework assignments. And so let's go ahead and save this, and it'll bring us back to the assignments here. And if you got an X, you can always go back in and do it over again. There's videos for some. There's some practices for them. Some here you'll see your score, which is a 0 because I didn't get any correct. I have to get a 77 on that before I can move on, so you need to keep up with these assignments. If you go back to the window here, you can see your tests and quizzes, but we just showed them all there, and your gradebook. These are the two that you probably use. You go to your gradebook, you click that, open it up. So far I've tried 1.1 and I've got a 0 on it. If I want to show my overall score, I click on that button at the top, and that's how you see your overall score. My overall score is a 0 out of 700 points. Let me know if you have any questions on anything. You can go back to this one also. It'll always be in a separate window. And there's tools for success. There's multimedia library, the disc that came with your book. If you go to the multimedia library button, you can take a look at the textbook, some animations, PowerPoint presentations, chapter test prep videos that you have, and section video lectures that you have that came with your textbook. You take a look for all chapters or just specific chapters. All sections are just specific sections. And so these will show up and you can take a look at these. Some of these will play, some of them they found aren't streaming through the college campus, but you should be able to get them at home. As you can see here, we have the video that's opened up.
Let's see now. We have our information from the problem that we read up here on the board. First of all, we know that the
So there's a video of an instructor. She's going to go step by step through the problem. You can make it larger so it fills up the whole screen. You'll be able to see it a little better after it's loaded. We've also got some PowerPoints, and you'll have to download those. You can download them to your desktop. You can open them or you can save them. So this just goes through the multiplication property of equality for you with some examples and to help you to solve for it. And save those for further reference. There's also some animations. You can make that large. View examples.
To solve a missing number statement or equation, we must isolate the variable on one side of the equation.
And I'll give you some step-by-step instructions and practice along with it. There's so many resources for you here. And so this is true for each chapter that we're going to be covering. If you just go up here and you click on all the chapters, you can see what's possible for each of the chapters, the animations, test prep videos, PowerPoint presentations, and even the section video lectures. So the next thing we're going to take a look at is Blackboard. You got the announcements, which automatically shows up. Staff information is me. Course information, you need to look through that. The MyLabsPlus, that'll take you right to the MyLabsPlus website. It'll be in here. Your chapters for each chapter. There's some other PowerPoints in there. Websites, that'll bring you to the MyLabsPlus and other websites. Bonus tests. After you finish a chapter test or at the end of the semester, whenever you'd like, you can try a bonus test. There's a chapter 1 bonus test. You just click on the test. You try all the questions. If you get a 77 or higher, you will earn extra points on your chapter test for that chapter. If we go back to the institution, on the left hand side at the bottom, all the way bottom left, the Smart Thinking login. And this is where you just logged in. If you click there, the Smart Thinking login is 24 hours, 7 day a week, tutoring sessions. You might need to click a continue link at the bottom of the first page, and you can find an instructor right now. Whatever subject is up, it's different depending on the time of day and the day. You can pre-schedule a session. Say we're in Math 070, we click on Algebra, it's going to show you a schedule. Just read through the schedule details. You can submit a writing for an English or a reading class, and they'll get back to you within 24 hours. You could submit just a question in any of these possible subject areas. And there's also academic resources. So when you go to Blackboard, your staff information, here's my email address. Here's the phone number. My office is on Tyrell campus in H207, and I've got office hours also. You can always call to set up a meeting or tutoring time, and I also have tutoring lab schedules, and I will post and email out the tutoring lab schedule as soon as I get it. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact me by phone or by email. I check email in the evening just because I have the online classes, so that's probably the easiest way to get a hold of me in the evening.